All right, let's go ahead and talk about trading Netflix and Tesla into earnings. So what I like to do are debit spreads. Okay, and debit spreads, what they allow me to do is find a contract, right, with options that offers a really big reward with a very low risk. Way back in the day, I just want to show you an example and talk about this for a second. Is I would come over here and I tell this story a lot, and this is a very true story, and it was super exciting, and it kind of got me excited about trading options, to be very transparent. Is that my friends and I in the Air Force, we would come over here, and this was back in the day when Google, Amazon, Apple, everything was trading at very, very high price, right? Over the thousands, right? And you could get these very big swings, $100 to $200 moves. Well, we would literally come in, okay? And right before the end of the day, before earnings, we would buy a call at the money and we would buy puts at the money. And this worked really well for us until it didn't. And that's when I really started to learn, okay, wait, you can lose money just off the fact that if things go sideways, it could really hurt you. And I tell you what, when you put, $2,000 and we would all wrangle up some money together and we would take these trades, and if these went to zero, everybody was pretty depressed, right? It's like, holy crap, man, we just lost thousands of dollars. All right. There were times that the call side or the put side would make up for the other side. All right. But it just kind of came to an end and really got us interested in a little bit different structure. Well, it wasn't until years and years later that, after I started trading supply and demand and coming up with my own process, that I found this. And the way that I do this is no different than what I teach you guys. It's always going to be the same. We're always going to look at the chart the same exact way. So we're going to find supply and demand zones, okay? And then we're going to break it down on smaller time frames, and we're going to look for those levels, okay? And then we're going to try to structure a debit spread around that, okay? And a debit spread, if you don't know what that is, basically what we're doing is let me just give you an example. Let's say that I was bullish on Netflix, all right? What I could do is, if I think it's going to 500, I could buy the 500, all right? And then I could sell the 505, all right? And if it pushes through this, I get paid, all right? And I only pay the difference between the two strikes. So I'm not paying 1,000, I'm not paying 500. Typically, what I'm looking for is only spending most of the time, anywhere from $30 to $100. And I'm looking for a return of about 300 to 400%. All right. Now, if this is jacked, and right now it's at 147% implied vol, right? Basically, when I look at this, I'm saying, hey, man, I'm paying over price of about 147%. That's the way I look at this. Okay. So I don't want to ever pay straight up for something like this. All right. This is like living here in Florida on the water and waiting for the storm to get over the top of your house and then calling the insurance company to cover you. They're going to screw you. Okay. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take a look at this chart. Let's go ahead and just start with the weekly. I want to be looking up and to the left for structure. Now, the first thing I see, all right, is this right here. And I want to zoom in to kind of show you what I'm looking at. Right underneath this wick and the top of this candle, what I know about this area from what I have studied is that this is very, very big selling pressure. Basically, bears are in control in this area and right up here, and we'll get to that area again, okay? So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take a line, and I'm just going to go about right there, okay? And then we're going to take this line, and you can see this trendy edge. This is one of my proprietary indicators. We're going to move a line right there. Now, these lines to the upside are going to be resistance until proven otherwise, okay? And I want to take these off because I don't want anybody to get confused. And what I'm building for you is a blueprint for today, where I'd expect price to move to, where it would reject, and then I'm looking for price where it would go bid. So looking for buyers, okay? Now my next job is to look down and to the left and understand where buyers might show up. Now, as far as the weekly is concerned, all right, I have an inside and up formation right in here. All right, let's open that up so you can see it a little bit more. All right, so we have one right here. So the idea is that I would come right here, and that is at 429. This is at 512. This is at 559. Okay, so really quick, I would expect if we were to hit here for price to reject. Okay, and most likely just kind of stay in here. If price were to drop, I would expect price to bounce in here. Now I only have one line, and if you can already catch on, all I'm doing is I'm going to create a zone down here, okay? So my next line for right now is going to be a trendy edge. It's 400 by 429, 512 by 559. Now I never look at what the Analyze tab on Netflix says until after I do my blueprint. Because I don't care what the market makers think. I don't care what the market that all retail traders look at think. I really don't. Because if you think about it, if all the masses are looking at the same exact thing, what is your edge? You don't have an edge. You know, it's like, oh, well, when I looked over here, it says it's going to move $10. So if I sell an iron condor here, I should be safe. Surprise, Netflix just went up 3 times what you thought it was going to go up to, and you're absolutely screwed. The idea here, instead of doing iron condors, is that I would much rather find debit spreads that make sense, and I already know what my risk is before I take the trade. I'm at complete peace, Zen state. I don't care. I understand my loss, and I understand my reward before I take the trade. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down from a weekly into a daily. I just want to see if I'm missing anything. All right? Okay. So this was your weekly 512, and if you notice over here, this was actually a gap fill. So I was missing this. All right? So I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. There's a gap fill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to come down into the gap. So now it's at 507. Okay. To the downside, I want to open this up a little. All right. That way we can see it a lot better. And I have a beautiful inside and up formation. We have an imbalanced candle that is pushing to the upside. And we have support of the EMA cloud on the daily. Notice that the EMA cloud towards the bottom is confluent with the numbers that I already have. 429 by 400, okay? Now, in my opinion, when I look at this and I look at it from a technical perspective, it is very easy to say that we are making higher lows within what we call a down range, okay? So how far is that down range? Let's go ahead and pull out our Fibonacci's. Our high was up here towards about 700. And our low, we don't have to be perfect, was about right there. Let's go to my template. That is not my normal template. And that's what your normal template looks like. So from a Fibonacci perspective and everything that I teach you guys, I want you to apply this. Can somebody tell me what the 618 means? Again, this is a down range. Price is moving up. What does this 618 mean? A trend break. It is resistance. It is the golden Fibonacci. But what it means is if Netflix can get over the 618, The down range is broken. And guys, you better remember this. It's pretty special. Okay? Pretty special. This is broken. Bulls are really back in charge. Now, what do you notice when you look at the 618 and you see my 507 level? We need to bring this down. So we got a gap fill, we have structure. Now I'm going to bring it down. This makes a lot of sense to me for price to potentially move into 496. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this number right here and I'm going to move that down into some structure over here in a second, okay? But look at my lower number. It's at the 50. Let's move it up a little bit. Okay? Just like that. This one I believe is I just feel like it's just too low. All right? I feel like it's too low. I could be wrong. Let's go ahead. And the reason why I'm going to move this up is because we have a beautiful inside and up formation that's hiding in there. All right? This is an art, believe it or not. And you'll understand that. Like, my wife's an artist, right? And she went to school, right? I just kind of hard knocks, learn this stuff, but I have to appreciate her love for art because I am just absolutely a geek when it comes to this stuff. I love it. This is confluent now to the 50. It's also very close to the level that I just found for you. And then over here, I have this beautiful inside and up formation. In my opinion, as of right now, looking at these levels, my idea is that for the short term, because of imbalance, we could see a move back to potentially this area. And in the long term, we continue. And when I say long term, we're talking about earnings here. Okay. 2 weeks out, I could see price moving into 500 plus. Now, I feel like the 559 is pretty far away. Now, this is where I come into Netflix, okay, and take a look. Yeah, guys, we bought back the Goldman Sachs at 40 cents, and they are now almost $3. That's almost is getting close to 1,000%. If you guys did that, and I see some of you guys did, congratulations. That's awesome. Very, very pumped up for you. All right. And then over here, let's find a closer level. Okay. Now, after I find my levels, that's when I'll go to the Analyze tab. Okay. Then I'll start looking to see what the market makers think and where my levels are. Okay. So I'm going to come right down here. I'm going to go right here. All right. So I believe that we could move 500, 495 to 525. Okay. To the upside. And then to the downside, I believe that we could move into 453 by 433. Now, when we do the math, all right, and this could change dramatically, you could see ever since I started talking, we're up $5 here, okay, from the price where I started talking. And you'll see 477, you pull out your calculator. Excuse me. Nobody does this, folks. Nobody, I've never come across anybody that does this. You have 495 by 525, so 495. Okay, you could just take 495. Okay, and that's right now minus 478. So this could obviously change. Equals $17. Okay, so what do? Basically, you just come in here and I can write 17. Okay, right there. And then we could do our 525 minus 478 is 47. Okay. Right here. To the downside, sorry about that. I'm gonna put that there. To the downside, we're looking at 453 This comes out to $25. Okay. And then 433, and I'm using 478 as my number, guys, is $45. Now, after doing all of that, which one is our variable? Which one makes sense? No, no, no. That's not what I'm saying, Martin. Which two are the same? Pretty much these, right? See that? So far as trendy methodology, using supply and demand, Fibonacci's, and everything, we just so happen to come around the same two numbers. And again, this is impromptu. This is not me like figuring this stuff out at night or anything. I'm doing it right now with you. I wouldn't be able to remember all that anyways. All right. So this is what we have right here. Okay. Now, let's go over here to analyze. So I'm on Thinkorswim tab, analyze, and then I'm going to go to earnings. I'm going to type in Netflix. Oh my, I can't make this stuff up, folks. I cannot make this up. Look at what it says. Everybody see this? $42. Market makers are coming in with $42. Now, if trendy methodology came in at 45 or so, and probably if I split those, we're pretty darn close, right? And market makers are saying 42, then what could you take from this? Anybody have any idea? Some of my more advanced option traders, what can you take from this? If the methodology you're using, exactly, MMK, okay? If we're coming in the same exact area, that's pretty impressive, okay? It's pretty impressive. Now, what do you think that I look for? When it comes to doing this analysis on my own or with you guys, what do you think that I'm looking for? What would I like to see? I would actually like to see that it does not align. I want to see that the supply and demand far surpasses this number, okay? And what I mean by that, let's say that after I finish with everything I did, I came out with 65 bucks, okay? And this said 42, okay? What does that mean? What do you think that means? So if I think that we can move 65 and the market makers think we can move 42, what does that do for me? Exactly, Dylan. You got some lottos going because see, they're not expecting a move. Buy outside the expected move, exactly. And this is where I'd be looking for those debit spreads. But a lot of times, okay, if we're not lined up correctly, okay, if we're not lined up correctly, or sorry, we are lined up, I don't really get excited. But if we're not, then I get excited. All right. Then I can come over to the options chain. All right. And my numbers, let's see, let's just say to the upside, 495 by 525. Let's go on the back end of that. All right. Let's go on the back end of that. This would be a lotto. So if I think that I'm freezing the screen and I think we could hit right here, 525. If I buy the 520, right? and I sell the 525, you can see the difference between the two is about $1. That's how much I would pay for that. Okay. But again, it doesn't really fall into, for me, I would prefer somewhere around 50 bucks. I really would. Okay. Now, me overall, my bullish sentiment is that Netflix can hit 525, and I would have to come over here and look 2 weeks out. So it'd be five, and see, these are $2. They got you right here. It's the risk on this a little bit wider than I would want it to be. Okay. So what do you do with that information? Well, we have a number that's very close to one another. It's up to you, but you know what the numbers are. All right. If I end up taking a trade, you guys will obviously see it since my broker is tied in with the alert section here. You'll see it immediately when I take it. But for right now, you can also kind of look here and you get an idea what people are kind of setting themselves up for, right? Like right here, you can see that. You got some volume coming in right here, here, and here. Okay. So you can kind of structure around these numbers. Okay. So let's go ahead and put some boxes on here. Remember, red is where I would expect it to reject. And it's okay if it blows through it. Because if you buy debit calls to the upside, it blows through it, you get paid. Yeah, let's go to demand there, just like that. Okay. And we'll put this in here. And I'll put this here in the room. Okay, just like that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Tesla. And by the way, we're still in Tesla, so give me 1 second. Yeah, fun, 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 fun. All right, Tesla's been really, really good to me this year. Um, Not as good, I'm not bragging, like I didn't make a ton of money, but I've made several thousand, and it's fun, and I can see that we're in a red box here. We're going to start this over, and we'll go to a monthly. All right, and let's just assess it. Let me see how much you guys know. If you're looking at this monthly candle, what are some of the things that you recognize right away? And I'm going to take the supply off here. Okay. What are some of the things that you recognize when looking at this chart? I want you to be able to assess it from the get-go. So let's move ourselves from the monthly and just keep going down. Okay. Inside and up formation. Okay. If you're looking at an inside and up formation, I hope that you're looking at it right here. Okay. There's no inside and up here on the monthly, except for right here. This is your mother candle. This is your inside candle. And then we go inside and up right here. Okay. All right. So that's your inside and up. What's the next thing you notice? Inside and down. Okay. You can see it inside and down right here. There's an inside and down right there. Okay. Good. Just like that. Yep. All right. 3 months up. I love that. So 3 months up. Okay. How about the color changes? Right. Yep. Good, Steely. You got it right in time. Red to green. Momentum has changed a lot. Now, what is another thing you'll notice? How about the cloud? What do you guys think about the cloud in relationship to the candle? What do you guys think about that? It's pretty far away, isn't it? Yeah, and if you could see me right now, take your thumb and your pointer finger, and I want you to measure, okay? I know that sounds crazy. You know, you could do that. You can also just measure over here like that, and you could get an idea. You can also draw arrows if you want to. You know, you could go from the top of this to the top of price, okay? And then I can click on this, hit control, then click on it again, and I could drag another arrow, okay? Now this deviation, is this normal? I'd say yes. This is actually pretty normal, all right? Why do I think that? Because I'm taking this is my measuring stick, if you will, and I'm just measuring. When price goes over the cloud, Tesla is a mover, okay? I do agree that it's pretty high, all right? But it's not really too crazy. You know, crazy for Tesla would probably be up here towards 366. Then I would be like, hey guys, we're pretty stretched out here, all right? All right? All right. So, another thing that I really like from a monthly perspective is this inside and up formation right here. I heard you guys talk about it. The inside and up formation here, notice when I go to the right, this is where we found buyers. Can everybody see that? Is anybody confused by what I'm showing you here? So everything that I've taught you so far in this room, if you would have known this information months ago, you could have made this trade. Okay. Now I made this trade. I made over 1,000%. Some of my traders that were at Trendy Trading before I came over to Simpler would tell you that I was buying in this zone here. Okay. And a lot of people, like, they probably gave up. They were like, I don't know about this because it dug in a little bit. But see, the higher the time frame you go, it takes a while for it to work out. You cannot take a monthly and a quarterly zone and expect to see results immediately. That's not the way. The way is to actually pay attention to the time frame that you're on and give it the respect that it deserves. Okay? Everybody understand that? All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Now, look what happens when I put it on the weekly. Doesn't look too far stretched, right? Doesn't look too bad. What about when I put it on the daily? Doesn't look bad at all. All right? It's all perspective. It all depends on what type of trader you are. Are you a weekly? Are you a monthly? Are you a quarterly? Or are you trying to scalp something? Okay. Formations and levels. I'm going to keep the top end of this zone. Okay. That's going to be our first target to the upside is 317. Okay. Everybody with me? All right. What can we use as the next target? All right. Let's follow this line across. And it's right here at this wick. Okay, and I remember that. Right here. This wick. Why? Because all of these guys are not getting over this. Bears are in control right here. Therefore, we have a line synergistically moving across, lining up. That's your first target. Now I want to go up from here. Watch my cursor. It's right here. And I want to move up and I want to find where there's more selling pressure. Boom, right here. 340 or so. So I'm going to take this line. I'm going to duplicate that line. And I'm going to go right under there. This is the zone that I believe we could move to. Okay. All right. Let's go down and to the left. What do you guys see down and to the left? There's several things that are very confluent here. Somebody tell me. We're looking at Tesla on the weekly. What is confluent down here? This should make your hairs stick up on your arms if you got any. Anybody? There's a lot of confluence down here. What do you see on this chart? Monthly edge and cloud. Boom. There is so much going on right here, guys. Edge, edge, cloud, inside and up formation. Are you kidding me? I hope that all you guys see that. We have ourselves a zone. Everybody understand that? We're going to come up here just like this. I'm going to use that level, which is an edge. Then I'm going to grab this and I'm going to go to the bottom of the formation of the inside and up. Why do I say the bottom? This is the initial. This is the inside candle. This is the up. Boom, we go up. Guys, remember I have hollow and filled candles. Hollow candles close at the top. Filled candles close at the bottom. Stop getting confused. This is an inside and up formation. Okay? So we are going to take this, place it here. And for anybody that thinks, man, this is crazy, this is a lot of work, go back and keep watching it, okay? I'm going to put this on YouTube. It's actually being put on YouTube right now. You don't think it's crazy when you're making money. You didn't think it was crazy when I bought back the short side on Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs was down several dollars this morning, and the option almost went up 1,000%. It wasn't crazy when we made 370% yesterday, and we made 100%, 100%, 100%, 400%. So please pay attention. All right. So let's get to the math. Calculator. 317 minus 218, 298. Sorry. Is that what we got? 317. And I know you could do the math in your head. So could I. But we're doing this slowly. Okay. 19. $341. 43. Down here, we got 268 and 298. We know that's 30. And then we have 238. We have 60. It's got a smorgasbord here. The closest two numbers that I have would actually be the 19 and the 30. Okay. I can make 30 out of this and just go to the 50% of my supply zone. All right. All I'm doing here is changing my settings. And I take all these off and I only want the 50. Levels 329.15. Minus 298 equals 31. Okay. So if I want to structure something, I'm structuring in here. Now for the final test, what I want to do is I want to come over here and put Tesla in here. $19. Again, absolutely spot on. Okay. I don't necessarily like that. Okay. I'm not a huge fan when I'm totally off, but when we're totally on board with what they're saying. I don't like the market makers. Matter of fact, these guys are my enemy. I want to make money. I want these guys to not make money. How many people have you heard? Oh, I used to be a market maker. Awesome. Congratulations. I'm not a market maker, right? I think it's cool. It's commendable. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm not trading with you. I'm trading against you. Okay? So they came up with 19. We came up with 30 to the downside. Hmm. Hmm. So, what if I bought Tesla on the put side just in case they fall to 270 by 268, right? I'm just going to put this out there. 270s are $1.58 by $1.60. Now, am I bullish on Tesla? Yes. But what I'm bullish on is when I have something that they don't. So let's say a dollar, I do the 270s and the 267 and a half. Those are $28 and pay 222 to the downside. Folks, how many of you care? Seriously, how many of you care? I need to know. How many of you care if you lose $22? Sorry, 28. I mean, 28 bucks. How many of you guys have risk of $28? Not many of you. Okay? All we're doing is we're using levels. It's a trade plan. And like seriously, many of you though, believe it or not, will say you don't care, but you will emotionally attach yourself to a $28 trade like it's like someone's going to take your birthday. Tomorrow you'll wake up, it won't work out, and you'll be like, son of a bitch, I just lost $28. Right? How many of you, tell the truth, how many of you have made, and it doesn't have to be this number, but how many of you have made 5,000 yesterday, lost 1,000 today, and say, oh my God, I fell at trading? Seriously. How many of you are guilty of doing that? I'm guilty of doing that. I can make a lot of money on Monday, lose money on Wednesday, but still made a lot of money for the week, but I'm still mad at myself. That's the part we have to get over. Okay? That's the part that we have to get over, right? Don't you agree? It's just a trade, folks. It's just a trade. And what you'll hear from a lot of traders is that we don't trade earnings. It's a crapshoot. Hey, I'm here to tell you right now, I don't care what your process is. You have no idea if you're going to make money or not. Me and Melissa show you some of the highest winning percentages I've ever seen from anybody. But every time I pull the trigger, I have no idea if I'm actually going to make money. The only true fact is that I will lose money. That's what I concentrate on. And if I'm okay with losing 28 bucks, I will take the trade. is a 270 by 267.5. Okay? That's if they fell miserably and they go straight down. All right? Now let's talk about the upside. Here, let's type it in here just so I don't forget in case I want to do it. Because the higher this goes up, the cheaper this becomes, by the way. Maybe. 269. Oh, sorry, 270. 270 by 267.5. For $28. Possible. $222. Those are the kind of, when I go back to my story, talking about when I was in the Air Force, see the big difference? Right? Who wants to lose thousands of dollars and be hung up on their ego? Not me. I don't care about that stuff. Not anymore. All I care about is, John, how much are you willing to lose? That's my risk, baby. Okay? Pretty cool, right? Now, how about the upside? 317, but we have a 329. Let's try to target the 329. All right? Tesla. 329. Oh my. 327.5 by 330. 30 cents. 30 cents for a potential 219. Right? 327 by 330. Sorry, 327.5. For right now, $31. Potential $219. What is the total amount that I can lose on this trade? Yeah, about $60, guys. Your premium paid. $59. This is the person that I like. The old me, wait, this is years and years ago, over a decade ago, right? Would be spending 5,000, probably 900 on two at the money options on both sides. You see what I mean? Huge difference, right? Crazy. All right, so ES futures, what did it do? I mean, it hit our levels, it pulled back, it hit the PMZ, and boom, there it is. Right? Crazy. I don't care. It's whatever. All right, so on Tesla shares, guys, just as a prime example, I want to show you really quick what we did. All right, here's Tesla. All right, take that off. Tesla, we took the trade out of the PMZ this morning. We hit target 1, we trimmed, and then you can see we also pushed all the way up to almost $300. Okay? Again, very nice process. We had a plan. If it continued to fall down, you could continue adding into levels. The idea is that you just stick to a plan and you execute it. All right? And then why did the ES fall? It's always going to be the same answer. Always going to be the same answer. What is that answer, folks? And by the way, your support did work for 4,600 all the way into 4,606, and then it finally broke down. But look at that PMZ. Money. Money, money, money. All right? Regardless, the answer is always the same. You ran out of buyers. Then the market pulls back, and it looks for more buyers. Anyways, that does conclude my whole entry into how I trade earning setups. I did record this. I'll go ahead and stop that. I also streamed it, so it's already out there on my YouTube page. So if you guys want to watch it over and over to kind of help you understand, then